I kind of dug up some research, and it's pretty good stuff. All right, so Dad. I know Dad by Dad. He was born April 22nd, so we're a bit early, 1948. If you guys don't know what 1948 was, the best invention was the rotary phone. If you don't know what a rotary phone is,
Google it.
In Israel, yeah. The birth of Israel. Thank you. He was born Eugenio Castro Canivel. Canivel folklore has it that when his mom was pregnant, she used to rub her belly and pray and look at pictures of angels in her house. And she says that that is exactly why he's got such angelic features. So if you look at him, you can tell that God does work and prayer does work. So please keep praying. He was second of 6 children and with only one sister. He was very malikot. If you don't know what that means he was super hyper as a child. I'm pretty sure he was spanked a lot like I was. And since he was so hyper, I'm pretty sure he was very annoying as well. And with all his movement, and if you know him well enough, you know that he never sits still. He ran around as a child, and with his running came falling down, came breaking stuff, and the sound he made was kalabog. And that is why his second name is Bog. So if you're Filipino and you know him as Bog and you don't know why, that's exactly why. His name is Bog. So Bog grew up in Concepcion, and he was the stud of Concepcion. When you were looking at the slideshow, he didn't show any shirtless pictures, but when he was shirtless, he had a 6-pack, he had a lot of muscles.
He just drinks them now.
He was the man. He rode motorcycles, he was adventurous. He was hunting with his dad. They hunted with the native Indians of the Philippines in the rainforest. That's badass. And he was a badass until he met my mom. So in the Philippines, you have your haves and have-nots. You have your rich and your poor. Now my dad grew up in a poor house. Poor siblings, but they had everything they had, and they were happy. His parents taught him to be happy with what you had, and they shared everything they had, even the shirt off his back. That's why we have so many people here that love him, because he's just that. So he met my mom, and my mom was of the haves. She was of the rich. And Tatay, her dad, wouldn't have anything to do with it. Do not marry this boy from the barrio. You are much better than that. And so what Grandpa did was send her off to America to live for 2 years to try to forget about him. But I told you he was the man. There is no way, distance or time, can separate their love for each other. So after 2 years, she came back, and they were married, and he got his third name, Mrs. Canivel. Now, Mrs. Canivel was awesome. He was a great husband. He was so great, he had 4 children. And at the age of 26 or 27? 27, he got his 4th name. He went from Eugenio to Calabog to Mrs. and he became dad. Age 27, he became dad, and he had 4 children in the Philippines. And he had no idea that he was living the life. He had a farm, he lived outdoors, he was raising children, he had parties. He always had parties at the farm. He was surrounded with family and friends. He shared everything he had. He wanted everybody to have a good time, just like now. And just like all parents, they want the best for their children. And now as a parent, I'm realizing the sacrifice that my parents made. They decided that the Philippines was great, but there's so much more in life. And you can achieve so much more if you move to Texas. And my mom told us we had to move to Texas. And so we did. So Mom moved to Texas first, and she was gone for about a year, and then we followed. So imagine taking this guy who lives outside, a rice farmer in the Philippines, and forcing him to uproot everything he has and move 4 children to America by himself. His mom was first. And so, can you imagine the look on this guy's face when he had 4 kids that never flew before? He's never flown before, but he's taking the biggest flight of his life, and he's taking 4 kids with him. We were miserable. Like we didn't know that when you had air pressure in your ears, you just swallow and it goes away. We just kept crying because it hurt. And I was throwing up, but this guy did it. All 4 kids by himself. When we landed in LA, I was too young to know this or hear it, but I'm pretty sure his first sentence in America in English was, "I need a drink." Right? So now here he is in America. Farmer. He was the man of the Philippines. He lived the Filipino dream. But he's got to start over. His family's in America now. And so here in America, he did everything he could. He was a pizza delivery guy. He helped build houses of friends. He did renovations. He did everything he could to help out my mom and help out to put food on the table. And he always did it with a smile because that's the kind of guy he is. And so they sacrificed a lot for us, and we really appreciate that. But in his free time, he still would go outdoors. He would take us fishing. And a lot of times it'd just be me and Dad because we wouldn't catch a lot all the time. But he'd wake me up early in the morning and we'd drive to Galveston, and he'd be so excited he wouldn't even eat. He's just driving and driving and so excited, the possibilities, because this guy is such a positive guy. Like today we're going to catch the biggest fish ever. We get there, we fish for about 4 hours, and we'd catch nothing. But it was awesome because we got to go to the gas station. He's like, "Pick out any chips and drink you want." And that was the best part for me. And then we'd have to go to the grocery store, Viet Hoa or something like that, get fish and so we could have dinner. And then he turns 55 and he earns a new name. Lolo. So this guy is the best Lolo all these kids have ever met. There's no other person who could speak baby talk like he can. He can make any baby laugh and smile. He's just contagious. And now Lolo has 10 grandchildren. He's about to have 11. And he's living the life. He went from living the Filipino dream, uprooted, came to America, and is now living the American dream. Not very many people can be successful enough to do both, but this guy can, because he's a badass. And now, his story is still not over. He's 70 years old, I'm still scared of him, and he's still going. He's still going on his adventures, he's still hiking, he's seeing the world, and he's still living life to the fullest. So if you guys wouldn't mind raising your glasses with me, because it's such a much well-deserved toast for my dad. And I'm sure some of you guys in this room have thought that he's been your best friend at some point or another. He's been your best tito at some point or another.
Yeah.
And he's been the dad you never had at some point or another.
Yeah.
So cheers to our best friend, and our best dad, Eugenio Cannavale. Cheers. And now we're going to sing Happy Birthday with the two cutest members of our tribe.
Wait, I need a lighter. Where's the lighter?
Y'all a tribe?
Can we get a lighter?
Girl.
Drink it now?
Dad, you never had? And then
Marky. There you go.
and then
Go me.
Okay. So please join these two pretty girls in singing the song everybody knows. And for his name, we're going to say Eugenio. In America, he's known as Eugenio, sometimes Gino. But we're all going to say it properly and name him the way his parents named him in Eugenio. Everybody got it? Okay. And then after this, the party's not over. We expect you guys to keep getting more drinks because it's time to party, because that's what Dad loves to do.
chill.
Okay, ready?
Hold on. Show your camera. Okay.
Go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday